Hi, guys. Here, I'm going to hand you guys, we only have one mic, so I'm going to hand you this one. You guys can introduce yourselves.
Cool. Well, good morning. My name is Acayla.
My name is Dawson, and we've been going to the well since we started college. So this was 2013, 2014, and we've been kind of skulking in the back for a while.
That's awesome, and that's usually a huge part of our story. Many people, we've actually grown up together in many ways, and so with you guys, it's been such a blessing to see you here in college, see you married now. Watching you work, you've helped me out with your job, and I've gotten to see you volunteer on the social media team and in different areas, and so it's just been awesome to be on this journey with the two of you. When you guys kind of started here at the well, you work in the whole entire finance world a lot, Dawson, and in what you do, and you're in school right now, and what made you guys go, man, this by any means thing is something that our family sees as a worthwhile endeavor to invest ourselves in and to be part of?
I think we have a very untraditional answer for this question. Little known fact, after college, we actually tried to leave this church. We lived pretty far away, and we're like, oh, the well is our college church. That's for college people. So we wanted to find a grown-up church. And we did for several months. We basically church shopped, even though it's horrible. We tried to find a different church closer to us. And every single time we found ourselves comparing it to the well. And ultimately we chose to come back here because we couldn't find a church that preached the gospel like the well did. And none of them felt right. And we're like, why are we trying so hard to go somewhere else when we already know where our church home is? And then we got married, and then this initiative by any means started right after all of that, and so it came into our lives right after we had just kind of recommitted to this being our church. And so we were talking about it yesterday, and we're like, honestly, we don't remember why we decided to commit, but we remember feeling like it was so important. And if we were going to call this church our home and be in this church, it was time for us to stop hanging out in the background and actually be present, get to know people, invest financially, invest with our time, and make this church our home if we're telling everyone it's our home.
So the moral of the story is don't leave our church. It'll go bad, and you'll come back. But in all seriousness, no, that's an awesome story to share. What's it been like for you? Now you've been on this for a while. Is there an aspect of it, like we talked about how there's three components really? There's continuing the mission that God gave us, there's planting churches, and there's us getting our own home. So as great as it is to meet in a bar, to have our own space is an important thing, right? And so what in there has been big for you guys? Is there something that's really stood out that's energized you? Because we're a couple years in on this. It's easy to kind of wane on the energy. Is there anything that's kind of brought you along on this journey?
I'll take it. So the past couple of years, I think it's been pretty difficult for everybody. Us especially. We went from one location to another, job to job, and when we started to commit, and I know this goes closer to the last question, but I think it's important to bring it up right now. We made significantly more money in the beginning, and as the pandemic rolled by and things changed, our household income got cut more than half down. But we felt like our initial commitment, we wanted to stick with that because we knew the mission of the well. We examined what we believed and what the well believed, and through the pastor's leadership, and we wanted to support their mission, even though we didn't know for ourselves what it would bring to our family, but we were faithful to that God would provide.
No, that's great. Yeah, it's not easy. Like over a 2-year period, we can kind of go on a roller coaster of all of these things. And so, man, I'm so thankful for you guys and for your faithfulness. Is there anything that you guys just would want to share with anybody who's kind of like, maybe you're new to this church and you're just learning about this, or you're on this kind of journey yourself? Is there anything you'd want to share with anybody who's either watching online or here present?
I think for me, this journey has been super interesting because I grew up in a really low income household. Like, so low income, my mom would steal food from her job to feed us. And so I did not grow up with a healthy understanding of finances. They terrified me when we first got married. I was like, don't show me our budget. Like, I don't want to know anything. And then this initiative came in, and I realized that money is a resource that God gives us, and we are called to use it as a resource from God and as a tool to pursue his mission. And it has really challenged me to consider what I think about finances and money and how it can be a good and beautiful tool rather than this horrible thing that I had built up. So I would just really encourage people, if you have committed or if you're considering committing, it's not just about giving money. Like, yes, giving money, paying your tithe is important. It is biblical. And we're trying to have a church home. Like, that is a good thing, and we should celebrate it. But it's also an opportunity for you to lean into God, figure out where you're not trusting him enough, and how he wants to use you and grow you and make you more like him through this opportunity. So be encouraged.
I think a big thing that I've learned too, to supplement what Acayla was saying, is for us, time, money, energy, those are all scarcities. That's scarcities for everybody in this room. And we've found that if we're looking for more money, trying to get more rest, get more time, to give that to God, to give that to the community first. So more recently, we've been, I help with video production, volunteer in the back sometimes, and Acayla does social media. So through giving of the time, we've actually seen more time, seen more money, seen more energy come back to us that God's given us. So I encourage you guys, if you're not committed to the By Any Means initiative with your time, money, resources, talk to Pastor Matt, talk to Pastor Chase, talk to Pastor Scott. It's well worth the investment of your time and resources.
Great, thank you guys. And just, we'll get going here in a second. We just want to encourage you, if you've been part of this, finish strong. We need you to. It's actually really important right now. We're actually having to pay the bills for the construction now. So on a practical level, there's that. But also, we want to keep planting churches. We want to keep doing what we've been doing. And you guys have been so generous so far. And so from your leaders, your pastors, deacons, the executive team, all the teams that lead in our church, we just want to say thank you to you all for your commitment and your faithfulness in this season. It's been huge for our church, and so it's been a huge blessing. And if you're thinking about making this your church home, we'd invite you into this process. I know it's towards the end, but it's never too late. You can be involved. Come talk to us after our service. We'd love to share more with you about that. Cool?